Alright, let's do a video on today. Today's alright, but also there's 4 employees. And I get along with people, but I don't really get along with people that aren't the boss, that pretend to be the boss and boss people around. And that's one of the situations I'm in. But I don't know, I think we could work it out. But there's the Indian employee, the boss, we'll call his name Jason, me, and the 60-year-old who's been working there for 6 years. So he's still a little bit grouchy because Jason, or whatever I called him, the new boss, got the job and he's only been there for 3 weeks. And this guy's been there for 6 years and he didn't get the job. But that's because he's not people polite and he's not a great leader. And today I got told several times to do jobs for Jason. However, when me and the Indian bloke were doing the jobs, the 60-year-old would swing by and be like, hey, you can do this and this and this as well. Or, what are you doing? And I'd have to literally tell him, man, like, here's a good example. The Indian guy actually hurt himself today and he jammed his finger in between two pieces of wood. Not bad, but enough to be bruised and swollen. Whatever, he pushed through, sort of. It was towards the end of the day, so I can't say. But I explained the story to the 60-year-old, and I said, whatever, he'll learn, and Jason will talk to him, because Jason's the boss. And he said, nah, mate. He goes, I'll talk to him. And I said, what? He goes, I've been here for 6 years. He goes, I'll talk to him, I'll tell him what, not to overwork, and I'm like, okay. I literally just said, alright, yeah, I didn't mean to, I said, that's what I said. I didn't mean to. And I just said, look, I don't know. I just said, Jason's the boss, so I just figured Jason would talk to him. And he said nothing. He just walked off all grumpy. He's a bit of an annoyance because he wants to be the boss, but he's not the boss. And because of that, he's not the nicest guy. But work was alright. Work was fine. Work was work. I moved a lot of furniture today with the Indian bloke. We put out a fair effort. And honestly, I just can't wait till these 2 weeks trials are over so I can just go to 2 or 3 days a week. But yeah, we're pushing through. I rang up my American friend for like 2 minutes just to tell him a couple stories and then hang up. Yeah, I can't really say too much about work. It was good. It was a good day. We moved furniture. I talked to a couple teachers, not many, but a few. Right, this happened. So I left my helmet out in the sun, which is stupid. And whatever glue the original painter used on the helmet, it doesn't like heat. I mean, to be fair, probably a lot of things don't like Australia heat, so it's not the painter's fault. But this isn't the first time this black bottom piece has come away from the sun. However, today it was really bad. The whole thing pretty much peeled away. And as you can see, it peeled away, but it also peeled away the paint. I also think I might have caused that damage from the shed trying to fix it, or when the Indian bloke pretty much dumped it on the table pretty hard when he was inspecting the smart helmet. Because it is a smart helmet, I don't need to do air quotes, it's a smart helmet. When he was inspecting it, he dumped it on the ground pretty hard. So, what I've done though, to fix it, it's really ugly. But this helmet's had a hard life, and it's really done, and it's been dropped a few times, so really I should throw it away. That's the rule of dropping helmets. But, I have... See that shit there? I have puttied around all the foam. Not really road safe, and like if an amber or something wanted to try and take the helmet off or something, I think that could be a problem, possibly. But whatever. Anyway, So what I've done is just because I picked, this was actually sort of little, but I picked at it and picked at it and picked at it and made it worse. So I've got some super glue, and I've actually just got a little bit of glue. Alright, good, I'm still there. And I've just dabbed it on, and I have done this so I have a layer of protection on the helmet. Probably not the best idea, but at this point I really don't care. It is pretty ugly, but I don't want to pick up the paint and make it worse and worse and worse, because it is getting worse and worse and worse. So that's my problem. Yeah. So yeah, I just need to pretty much stop picking at it. But the helmet's fucked. It's a smart helmet. The brand pretty much went not bankrupt, they went dodgy. They sold their company to GoPro or something, and they had a bunch of shares or something, I heard, and they didn't do the people who had the shares justice. They screwed them around before they sold the company to GoPro. I don't know. I'm not into shares, so I don't know. But there's a big kerfuffle about it in the motorbike helmet scene. I don't know if that's a thing, but there was a big kerfuffle about it. So they don't really have the best, even the foresight community, they don't, there's no community anymore. It's pretty much gone. But I'm just trying to make an extra little layer that looks dodgy, but it's an extra layer protecting myself from picking at it, which I also did along there as well. Just because I like to pick at things, and eventually I make them worse and worse and worse. So yeah, I gotta stop doing that. But yeah, I wish I had more things to say, but I don't. That was today, and I'm just doing some clothes. I will see you later.